What's up everybody, welcome back to Idiot Proof Cooking. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make two things, a croque monsieur and a croque madame. Now they're pretty much just the same thing, one just involves putting an egg on top, but really you're getting two recipes for the price of one here. No, sorry, you're going to get three because I'm also going to show you how to make a loaf of bread. Simple one, but a very delicious loaf of bread. So without any further ado, let's get into it and I'll show you how to make all this. Let's kick this off with the bread recipe, of which comes from the wonderfully talented Alyssa Rivers of therecipecritic.com. Start off with pouring 2.5 cups of warm water into the bowl of your stand mixer. I had mine heated to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Then add in a tablespoon of dry active yeast and a teaspoon or so of sugar to activate the yeast. You'll then let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes until the yeast starts to foam up. Once the yeast has finished snacking on the sugar you provided it, grab 5 cups of bread flour and carefully pour it into the bowl of your stand mixer. Careful, Will, you don't want to spill it. Once all the flour's been added in, get yourself a 1/4 cup of granulated white sugar and pour that in, and then 1 1/4 teaspoons of kosher salt, pour that in as well. From there, affix the dough hook to the stand mixer and mix for about 2 to 3 minutes until the dough starts to solidify and is no longer sticking to the bowl walls. After mixing for 2 to 3 minutes, turn the stand mixer up and mix for another 5 to 7 minutes on a medium to high speed. This will help develop the gluten structure and give you a nice fluffy loaf of bread. Once done, peel it off the dough hook. As you can see, it'll come out a little bit sticky, but that's okay because we're going to turn it out onto a floured work surface and knead this for 3 to 4 minutes. As you can see, that's what I'm doing here. Struggling to get it out of the bowl. Like I said, it's going to come out pretty sticky at first, but that's okay. So just knead the dough back and forth in the flour for 2 to 3 minutes until it loses some of its stickiness. After kneading the dough for 2 to 3 minutes, start forming it into a nice taut ball. From there, grab yourself a large bowl to store it in, generously coat it in olive oil, and then drop the dough in. Grab some plastic wrap and cover the bowl. From there, store the dough in a warm, dry place to allow the dough to rise for the next hour, hour and a half, or until doubled in size. Now this recipe makes 2 loaves of bread, so after about an hour, hour and a half of rising, give your dough a little punch to deflate it, and then grab your bench scraper to cut it in half. The plan here is to individually knead both of these pieces of dough into a loaf shape. Oh, there's Rose, always inspecting what I'm doing. So as I was saying, the plan is to knead both of these pieces of dough into a loaf shape and then put into a bread pan to allow to rise for another 30 minutes or so. Spray both pans with a bit of cooking spray, drop the dough in, cover them again with plastic wrap, and store for another 30 minutes to an hour. After just under an hour, as you can see, they've doubled in size again, so now they're ready to be baked. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and bake both of these for anywhere from 30 to 35 minutes until they're nice golden brown. You'll know they're done when you take them out of the oven, and if you tap on the top they sound hollow, that means they're done. So after 30 minutes, that's what mine came out looking like. Those are pretty nice looking loaves of bread. Oh, and there's Rose again inspecting what I'm doing. So as you can see, there they are both. They look pretty good. Yeah, those are gorgeous looking loaves of bread. Now I know when you make a gorgeous looking loaf of bread like this, you're going to be super excited to cut into it right away. Fight that urge though. Place them on a wire rack and allow them to cool completely for at least an hour. But let's cut into these to take a look at the insides. As you can see, they're nice and fluffy on the inside. That's a product of both the kneading and mixing for the length of time that I suggested. Oh, and it just smells fantastic. But enough about the bread. Let's talk about the croque madame and the croque monsieur, which was the whole point of this episode. So slice yourself off 4 pieces of bread, because we are making 2 sandwiches after all. So these glorified ham and cheese sandwiches have a bechamel that you put on top of them. So to make a bechamel, grab 4 tablespoons of butter, melt it, and then grab 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and whisk them together in a saucepan on a medium heat. Cook this for about 1 to 2 minutes until the raw flour flavor is cooked off. From there, add in a couple dashes of whole milk. You'll see it thicken up right away. Now don't pour all of the whole milk in at once. The ultimate goal is to add in 2.5 cups of whole milk, but just add a little dash in, whisk it around, and then pour a larger amount in, and keep whisking until it's nice and homogeneous. You should have to cook it for about 3 to 5 minutes. From there, add in a pinch of kosher salt, a few twists of freshly ground black pepper, and then a pinch or 2 of nutmeg. Now I don't have freshly ground nutmeg, I just have the powdered stuff. Judge me if you want. You'll know the bechamel is done when you can put in a spoon, pull it out, and it coats the back of it. From there, let it rest and cool down to thicken up a little bit more. Back to the sandwich now. Place whatever kind of mustard you want on this sandwich. I'm using a nice grainy mustard. For the cheese, a traditional Croque Madame and Croque Monsieur uses Gruyere. However, I'm using a smoked Gouda because in my small town, neither of the grocery stores had any Gruyere. One of the downsides to living in a small town. I should have cleared that question by my realtor before moving out here. Can you get Gruyere in the grocery stores here? But anyways, back to the sandwich. Add some ham to it. I'm using some Black Forest ham, and I'm putting on 3 slices per sandwich. And then top the ham with some more cheese. What we're going to do now is take these over to a frying pan, and we're going to fry them like a grilled cheese sandwich. So add some butter into the pan and press both sandwiches down. Fry them for about 3 to 4 minutes per side until they're nice and crispy. Give them a good old flip. There we go. Once both sandwiches are done frying, remove them and place them upon your broiler pan or a wire rack in a rimmed baking sheet. Then you're going to grab your bechamel and generously coat the tops of both of them. You don't have to be sparing, but you don't want to overload them, just the right amount. And then top both sandwiches with some more of your shredded cheese. Again, I'm using a smoked Gouda. Small town, we don't have Gruyere. We've covered that. Lastly, turn your broiler up to high and stick the sandwiches in for about 3 to 4 minutes until everything is nice and crispy. And there we go, that's what they come out looking like. Now for the Croque Madame, fry yourself up a single egg and place it on top, because that is the only difference between the Croque Madame and a Croque Monsieur. I know, I've shown you how to make 2 sandwiches, minor differences aside. So let's go in for a taste test. I'm going to be trying the Croque Madame first because it has the fried egg on top and I love fried eggs. Break the yolk and cut myself off a nice piece here to try. And holy is it ever good. It's very rich, but man is it ever tasty. Just the strong flavors of the Black Forest ham and the smoked Gouda along with the richness of the bechamel and then the fried egg on top. And let's not forget this delicious bread I made too. My God, everything about this is delicious. Calling it a glorified ham and cheese, I was doing that at the service. It is fantastic. You should really try making one of these. But anyways, that's the end of the episode. I hope you like what you saw here today. If you did, drop me a comment, like the video, or even subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching Idiot Proof Cooking. We'll see you again soon.